This is the thing that takes forever.
Yeah, this is what we don't really know. The other, well, we'll see. It's playing right there too, so we won't see it come up.
Okay, so you going ready?
I'm ready.
And you should be live, bud.
Okay, hey guys. As usual, I don't have the logo anymore, so it's hard for me to. Anyways, welcome to OnSet. I'm Daniel Norton. Today I have Allison helping us out. Seth on the mighty mix, and Dave's over there doing his thing. And we're going to do some headshots. So I wanted to walk through kind of a process of doing some kind of standard, I'll say, like headshot situations, schematics. What would you call that? Scenarios. Scenarios. I like that. That's your $5 word. So yeah, we got the. That's not me. Was that a commercial?
Yeah, that's.
Oh, okay. All right. So I call this one headshots 1, 2, 3 because I am all about the clickbait. So we're gonna shoot with 1 light, then 2 lights, and 3 lights, and we're gonna create different kinds of looks, and we're gonna kind of talk about why each one might be good or bad or ugly. Wasn't that the Good, Bad, and Ugly? That was a movie, right? Right. All right. So should we do it backwards and start with 3? No. We're gonna start. The one thing I am gonna say right away, I'm cheating right at the beginning, just so we get actual. Consistency and vibe. What I am going to do is I'm going to light the background separately. Though, depending on how we light Allison, it will actually affect, the background as well. So on the background, I've just got this Profoto B1X. It has a grid on it. I'm just going to throw a little. It was so funny. I was like, "What color shirt are you wearing, Allison?" And she was like, "Nutmeg or whatever." Oh, I wish I knew the color. I think this is called nutmeg. I'm not sure. It's not actually called nutmeg. It's not nutmeg. If I could read it, it's up there. It's called hazelnut. It's called something. It's that one right there. It's open, so you can't see it. Anyways, sorry, Savage. This is the color. She told me the color of her shirt, and I was like, hey, I have like so many Savage paper colors. No, this is like coincidental. I always pick a color. It's this one right here.
This one?
Yeah, the one that's flipped open. Nope, right above it. Right above it. See that piece of tape? No, above. The one that's flipped open. There you go, that one.
Eggnog.
Eggnog.
We were close. That's like
Oh, you put nutmeg in eggnog.
like
Well, on it.
egg.
Yes, you are eggnog. So I was like,
Close enough.
Allison, and she was like, eggnog, and I was like, yes. So boom, Anyways, she's wearing nutmeg, but we have eggnog, and it goes together like Christmas. Yeah, and also the hallway smells like Christmas. It's weird. It has like this like tree smell. I want to say this. There's been a lot of like, what do they call it? Sanitizing going on. Disinfecting. And man, the subway smells fresh and clean.
For the first time.
For the first time since I've lived in New York.
All lies.
All right, fresh and clean smell on top of the normal weird subway smell. All right, anyways, all right. So if you're going to make a headshot with 1 light, right? We're talking about kind of a pretty normal headshot, not a pretty normal one, but like a pretty normal headshot. You're going to want to use a large light source. So you got a few options. If you have all kinds of money, you're like rolling, and you can get a giant softbox or like a 5-foot Octa. Those can be, that's like at the high end. The most kind of moderate scale, price-wise, would be like a big umbrella, right? That would be like your most inexpensive. I like to use a frame and fabric, somewhere in the middle price-wise, and gives you a lot of options beyond just this. So basically, this is the Shamir 4-foot. So I think I'm going to put you let's put you right there. What's cool about this is that, actually back up almost so that you're just about touching that light. There we go. All right, good. So let me just frame that up and make sure before we set the light up that we got good composition. Oh yes. Let me lower my tripod slightly so we can frame this up. So you are just the right height to be an Allison. All right, let me just see what that looks like. All right, there she is. Oh wow, okay. We definitely have to do some adjustments here. Okay, so before we do anything, I got ahead of myself as usual. I'm going to set my camera so that none of the light in space affects my shot. I'm going to do that by setting my ISO at 100. I'm going to set my shutter speed at 1/200th of a second, and then I'm going to adjust my aperture as needed. I'm just looking at the meter in my camera. Right now it says it's 2 stops underexposed at f4, but I'm actually going to go to f8 just to make sure. That should give me a couple more stops. So let's see what that looks like. Are you ready? I'm going to come over here. I'm in capture 1. I'm going to put over here my adjustments. We're going to click on the image. I'm going to now grab my exposure slider. And I'm going to move it until I start to see her. Not quite 2 stops. It's pretty bright in here today. We have a new light lighting the scenario, the set. I broke up my big old data light. So I think I might actually go to F. Yes, I will. I'm going to do all the important stuff now. People are going to be like, how did he set up that light? I don't know, because he set it up.
Resetting.
It's resetting. Okay.
You might be live.
I might be live.
Buffering.
Buffering.
Okay.
All right, so I'm putting this right behind me.
Just let them know there's some issue.
Yeah, guys, we got some internet issues as usual. The internet is a fickle mistress. So I'm going to put this behind me. Putting the light directly from the center is going to make it very even and very, if I only have one light, I just want to make it as smooth as possible. So I'm going to put it like that. We'll give it a little tilt. Perfect. Now that alone, of course, is not a light. We need to put a light behind it. I'm going to use for that a Profoto B1X. You can't see it. Okay, so I'm gonna. Can I see it now? No. Okay. All right. If I'm good at anything, it's blocking the public from seeing anything. All right. Of course I am. All right. So I'm going to take this and basically point. They can see the frame of the fabric, right? I'm going to take this light and I'm going to aim it at the frame of fabric, and you guys can probably see how it's lighting it up. I have the modeling light on. They can see the light now, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to turn the modeling light off for a second. One thing I've noticed, I don't know if you've noticed this, Seth, is that if you start turning the modeling lights on and off from the light and not from the remote, then sometimes it gets confused. So I recommend when you're using one of these remotes that you do everything from the remote or everything from the light. It just makes it easier. Maybe it's just me confusing myself, probably. Okay, I'm going to use TTL for this because this is a pretty simple scenario, okay? I'm actually going to turn off the background light to start with because if I have that on, it might affect the TTL exposure. So we're just going to... Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. Step forward for a second. I'm going to turn this off.
The whole chapter is people shouting over the front.
All right. Anybody from New York City? I need a coffee. All right. I'm almost nervous to get coffee because I feel like it gets cold by the time I start. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to frame this up. I'm using TTL. I'm just going to fire the key light, which is this light. It's in my A group. Boom, we'll take a picture. That did not fire, did it? It did not.
Nope.
Let's try that again. There we go. That sounded better. There it is. The most important part about being tethered is to make sure you put yourself in the most awkward place ever to walk back to the camera. All right, so we're looking at her. She looks good. Looks a little underexposed to my taste. So one quick way, if you're using TTL and you're shooting tethered like I am to kind of figure out where you want to be, is going to be to grab your exposure slider like we did before and just bring it over till she looks good. I mean, she always looks good, but good exposure-wise. Okay, so here she is. That's about, 0.8 of a stop. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to come over here. And you have 2 options. You can either leave it in TTL and put some exposure compensation in there, or you can just go to manual at this point if you're using the Profoto like I am. And I'm going to add 0.8. And let's see if that works. Even though the math, should work out, we always want to just test it. Yep, that looked good. Perfecto, right? Nice and smooth, nice and even. So the 97 people that are going to write me an email later and say, what would you do if you didn't have a young, beautiful woman? I would do exactly this. This is the lighting for people that have wrinkles and stuff that you don't want to show. Personally, I love wrinkles and crow's feet and stuff. You earn those things. So once you earn those, we'll show them. But if you didn't want to show those things on somebody, then you would use a big flat light like this. So let's take a couple shots like this so we can show you. Should be nice and simple. There we go. That looks good. And we'll just bang it out, right? The camera is finding her eyeballs, which is kind of awesome, but also kind of weird. And she's working it. She's like, well, I'm working it. And she can go, she can move all over, right? Wherever she moves, because this is a large light source.
You're not using the background light?
Not yet. I'm not using the background light. Now, in this scenario, You might not need to, right? This is actually why I didn't use it, because I was kind of pointing out. So just remember, because I know that sometimes we forget this. If no light fires, we have a black frame, right? So what does that mean here, right? It means that that background is lit, right? It's lit. That background is lit, right? Did people don't say that anymore? Yeah, she doesn't say it anymore. I say it. That background is lit by my key light. That's because this light, if you take this proportion here and this proportion here, and you do a little math and you do stuff, you'll figure out that using the inverse square law, she's getting a lot, the difference in exposure between that and that is not that much, Also, light bounces around a lot in the studio, so if the floors were black, it would be different.
You might freeze again.
I might freeze again. This might be a regular thing where we're going to be like, we can get all pixelated like Max Headroom. Remember Max Headroom? All right, so step up for 1 second.
All right.
Yeah, just step over here for a second. I just want to adjust this light. The reason why I'm having her step out when I do that is because it's literally right behind her. So, I think sometimes people want to know why I do certain things. Like you don't want to reach behind somebody and do the light, right? It would be a little awkward. This light I'm just going to put on what they call an optical slave. And I'm going to figure out its exposure. I'm just going to put it halfway. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my light meter. Because, it's a thing I wasn't planning to do and then suddenly decided to do midstream because that's how I operate. We may have lost focus.
Well, no, I think it's focused. It's focused on the
Oh, yeah. I mean, I always lose focus, so it's not unusual for me. All right, so I'm using my light meter now. I'm in flash mode, non-corded flash. I'm going to match my settings. So I'm going to go 200th of a second, ISO 100. Then I'm going to ask Allison to help me out. And she's going to press this white button when I tell her to.
Okay.
So I'm going to hold this in the middle, and I'm going to say, press it. Boom. 4.5. So we need to give ourselves, half stop would give us 5.6. We want to match the key light, we'll say. Our key light was what, F9?
Yeah.
So we want to be 6.5. So we're going to turn it up. Let's do another test just to see. I do have a grid on this, so I'm just kind of.
Ready?
Yep. Perfect. Let me give it a little more juice because it's yeah. I'm just giving it a tiny bit more juice. Let's see what that looks like. This is now in an optical slave, so it will just fire when the front light fires. Yep, it does. All right, let's try. All right, so give us the good
Okay.
yeah, the good portrait look like you're like I'm an executive, and I won nutmeg today. Yeah, there we go. So we have a little light now in the background, giving that little bit of flare at the bottom. It's not doing much in this case because the background's already lit, right? It's lit. So, but you'll see as we do other setups that'll make more of a difference. That looks pretty good actually, nice and simple. Maybe we should always do everything with one light. What do you think? Hold on. I learned this trick from Brian Peterson. I am going to double my productivity right now. It's happening. Ready for it? Boom. Boom, double productivity. Thank you, Brian Peterson.
Don't forget the zoom too.
Oh, and you can do the zoom. All right, so this is the like the one on the left is like if you're like an old person, you're like, oh, I'm gonna do headshots, and the one on the right is like modern Facebook, sideways, right?
Yes.
Nobody shoots vertical anymore. All right, there's a little tip for you there. Thanks, Brian Pearson. All right, that's pretty good, right? Got a little burst of light. Oh, I snapped.
You did.
I was like, oh, that's going to be a new thing. I got a burst of light in the background. She's lit with one light. It looks pretty good. If it was too shadowy, I could throw a reflector in. But guess what? This is the softest light. Is it the softest light? It's nearly the softest light in the universe. Nearly the universe. Because it's the whole room. Because this is a white room and basically light's bouncing everywhere, right? So single light, nice and simple, right? This is going to be good for really clean actor headshots. It's good for when you're doing lots of different people and you got to change it up so you don't want to do customized lighting for each person. It's good for people that are like, don't show my wrinkles, don't show my bad skin. This light is going to be super, super flat. Super flat light means it's not going to show a lot of texture. It's just going to light it up and it's not going to show us, any, I mean, not that Allison has any, but it would not show any wrinkles or anything.
Just let them know YouTube's having a problem, not our internet. So
Yeah, YouTube is having a problem, not our internet.
tell them to refresh their browser.
So refresh your browser and it should help.
If they have a problem.
If you have a problem. If you don't have a problem, you don't have to refresh it. I mean, unless you want to watch that ad again. I like the ad where the guy does the retouching. He's like sitting there, he's like, I could sell you the new presets. You don't see that one? That one pops up a lot on mine for some reason.
Size.
All right, so this is a 4 foot by 4 foot frame. It is made by Chimera. It is a full diffusion in it. Full diffusion. Full diffusion. All right. It's also very lightweight, but you probably should put a sandbag on it, but I did not because nobody was watching. All right, that's one. We did one really fast. All right, good. Let's do 2 lights, right? We're going to do 2 lights. We've graduated, right? We're like, we started off with one.
Two lights.
What?
You just did 2.
Well, no, the background light doesn't count. Background light's extra. The 2 lights meaning on the subject. I know. I said at the beginning I was going to cheat. Forget it. I know.
I don't have speed lights, Daniel.
You cannot do this with speed lights. All right, so you know what I'm going to do with this though? Because I am lazy, and because the police are coming, I'm going to leave this up. And I am going to use 2 lights, but I'm going to change the attitude of the light by making this my fill light.
Not the vibe?
Yeah, or the vibe. I'll change the vibe of the I said vibe so many times in that video. I do not know why, but I did. Vibe is what I used to say when I went to the discotheques to pick up the funky mamas. By the way, we are in New York City, and there is no sand in New York City. So you know what's in that? Concrete. I think Paul went down to the street one day and took rocks.
It's leaking.
We had one that had pennies for a minute.
Right, and one had pennies. That was my life savings. All right, so we're going to make a light that's a little bit more, has a little more shape to it, a little more classic shape to it. So I'm going to use a softbox. Because, that's how you know you're really doing stuff is when you use a softbox.
I guess explain that there's no more Facebook Live for this.
So we're not going to be on Facebook for a little bit because this system is a little trickier to manage that. So you guys should probably watch on YouTube if you can. So sorry, Mom. My mom normally watches on Facebook, but... All right, so this is one of those weird situations, right? Because normally I say when people ask Daniel, where do you place the light? I always say, you place the light on the opposite side of the audience. But there's no audience here. I know. What do we do? I want to put it on the side by the windows. The reason why I'm going to do that is because it's easier for you guys to see it in the cameras. No, but also the reason I'm actually going to do that is because when you're using when using a strobe, I should say, and you are not using the modeling light, sometimes you start shooting fast, you're not thinking about where the light's coming from, and you see beautiful light hitting the subject, and you think that's the light. So since the windows are over here, and they're currently some of the brightest light in the space, I'm going to put the light from this way. That way, mentally, my mind, it looks right to me. That's why I'm doing it this way. There are certain people that say you should look at somebody's face and blah, blah. I don't do that. I mean, I look at their face, but I don't subscribe to that.
You want to explain that people watching want a shorter, concise version of this, they have an OnSet playlist?
Yeah, so if you guys don't want to, sit in for a full hour-long episode, I don't know why you wouldn't do that. I mean, what else are you going to do on a Thursday night? It's Thirsty Thursday. Maybe they want to go to the bar. If you guys want, if you want a short version of it, you can actually, if you guys don't know, I have a playlist on the Adorama YouTube channel. It's under OnSet. Those are all shorter videos, so if you want to see kind of tighter stuff, feel free to watch that. That's like the travel-sized version. All right, so we're using a ProPhoto 2 foot by 3 foot softbox. This is kind of your standard softbox. Small in the world of Chimera, medium in the world of most other places. This is in my B group. Now, normally I set my lights so that my key light is A, my fill light is B, my background light or whatever is C. I'm just not going to do that now because I don't want to keep switching the lights around. So I'm just going to make my key light the B light for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to go back to TTL.
They're saying you're shooting at my 5000K. Do you want to be at that, or are we going to be 55 for a little warmer?
Yeah, so Seth recommended that I shoot at 5,000 Kelvin for white balance, and being that he's used Nikon since before I was born, I figured I'd give it a shot. No, I think it looks good. I've been leaving it there and getting used to it because I usually shoot a little bit warmer at flash, but I kind of like it. He's winning me over.
See?
Yeah,
Talk
there we go.
trash last time.
I did talk trash. I talk a lot of trash, but I still take the advice from people that know what they're talking about. Seth being one of those people. All right.
They're asking why you're still using ProPhoto.
Why am I what?
Is there a reason you're not using other brands?
I mean, so why do I use ProPhoto? ProPhoto is just equipment that I've used for my whole career. It's good, it's reliable. There's lots of other great brands as well, but this is my preferred. Oh, I broke that blister on my hand. This is my preferred brand. It's good and reliable. I mean, when you got to be out on this, I don't want to be it's a ProPhoto ad. Is that somebody from ProPhoto? Like, Daniel, tell us why you. No. Oh, why am I not using Godox? I don't own it. Yeah, I mean, the thing, what you have to understand, I think when you guys watch these videos, you like think like we're pulling inventory out of Adorama. This is my equipment. Like I use my stuff, so this is what I own. All right, so here we go. This is the light. I'm only going to fire this light, and we'll leave the background on so it stays consistent. I'm in TTL, so we're going to work towards the softbox, and she's going to be like, "What?" Boom, right? Well, that worked perfectly.
Are you in TTL?
Yes, I am.
And that's what happened.
Right. So now I'm in TTL. So the little photo assistant came running out of the light, and then it was like, "Why is there so much light here? You don't need any light." And then it didn't really put much light. So actually, because this light is not part of the equation, I'm just going to turn it off again. I was trying to be so slick by leaving that in the non.
Oh, God.
Nobody saw that. All right, safety first. All right, let's try that again. All right, good. All right, here we go. This is? This is? No, that's not firing, is it?
Yeah.
I got all kinds of stuff going on here, guys. Hold on.
You weren't talking so much.
I know. Well, is it off now? Yep. All right. I didn't want to give you too good of a shot right away. All right, here we go. Remember, the most important thing as a photographer is not to do too good of a job right away. If you make it seem too easy, people don't want to pay for it. Okay, so here we go. More of a classic shot, right? What we've got here is the softbox shaping her face. Would you call that Rembrandt lighting? No, this is loop lighting, I think.
Oh, God. It's nothing lighting. Shut up. It's not.
But notice the background, right? In the beginning. What?
They're asking if you have any videos for sale.
Do I have any videos for sale? No, all my videos are free on Adorama TV.
And your own videos.
And also on my YouTube channel, Daniel Norton Photographer, if you want to check it out.
Look at that.
Right.
Learn to plug.
Sorry. All right, so you can see in the first shot, it's super flat, right? And the background is actually almost lit to proper brightness. It actually is a little bit darker than it actually is to your eye. You see in this one, the background is much darker. Why is that? That's because the light is coming like this, and only a little bit's touching the background, right? So we're able to control the darkness or brightness of our background also based on our key light. So if you liked that, then you're golden.
Or nutmeg.
Or nutmeg, yeah. So one thing that's important is when you're buying background paper, right? It's good. I find it's good to get kind of colors that fall into a certain like warm, cool spectrum, and then you can always deal with light darkness as you go. Like you might have chestnut, nutmeg, the eggnog, whatever, all these browns. Pick the brown that you like the best, right? And then you can usually adjust it up and down. Right. But just to match the first one, we're going to turn that backlight on again. What I should have done was put this in the C group so I could do this with the remote, but now that I haven't done it, I'm just not going to fix it because I can't. I could do it, but I'm stuck in my ways. All right, I'm going to take it out of TTL so that I don't get that bad exposure again. And we're going to go like that. Boom. Now the background light should fire as well because it's in an optical slave mode. All right, so now we've got this versus this, right? We're still a one light situation here. I know we're not counting the backlight. With this, so what I want to do is do my two light setup, which is basically this, right? Let's say that we want to shape the face, but we want those we want some control over the shadow. Maybe that shadow's a little bit too dark. Maybe you're like, you know what, Daniel, that shadow's a little bit too dark. And I'll be like, well, actually, you're probably right. We can control the density of our shadow by using a fill light. So since I happen to have this one set up and doing what's called on-axis fill, meaning from the direction of the camera, is one of the best ways to do a fill light because it won't create its own shadows so much. This is one of the best ways to make a fill light. So I'm just going to leave this guy where it is. I'm going to turn it back on. Can you turn that light off behind you? Just hold down the white button until it turns off. There we go. Okay, so, by the way, this is like I'm having flashbacks to back before we had remotes for everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm showing you what it used to be back in the day. All right, so I'm gonna turn this light back on, right? I'm gonna throw it back in TTL, but I know I want this to be my fill light, so I don't want too much light coming from it, so I'm gonna immediately take it and turn it down by 2 stops. Why 2 stops? I read it in a book somewhere. No, 2 stops is the most it'll go down, so I figure I'll start there. All right, boom. Maybe that was too much. Or not enough, I should say. Let's go back up. I'm just going to turn it down by half a stop because that was way dark. Good, good, good. There we go. Seems like the overall exposure is a smidge dark.
Oh, she moved her hair too.
And she fixed her hair. Yep. Yeah, we're getting some fill.
She has a lot of range apparently.
It's fine. It is, right? All right. All right, I guess, you know what? Apparently, it's like, dude, why are you doing exposure compensation? I don't need it. You know I don't need it.
What? Oh, that looks kind
No,
of good.
that's it. I was waiting for that. There we go. Perfect. That's what I was waiting for the whole time.
That's beautiful.
Beauteous Maximus,
There you go.
right? All right, that's kind of filling in now, right? We've got the light, you know, versus here to here. I think, though, actually it's pretty perfect. But what we can do when we're using the 2-light setup is we can adjust our lights as we go. I think I'm actually going to make it a little more contrasty. And I'm going to take this light, my key light, which is my softbox, and I'm going to bring it up a third of a stop, a fourth of a stop. No. 0.4. Yeah.
Oh, 0.4.
Yeah, 0.4. And I'm actually going to make my A light 0.2 down. So I'm going to increase the contrast by having a, ready? Boom. She's like, I'm ready for you now. Yeah,
Compared to
there we
the
go.
other one.
So they're asking where the catch light's coming from, which light?
The catch light's coming from the softbox. Because the other light is so above her, you're not going to see that catch light unless she puts her chin up a lot. If you like a lot of catch light, what you can actually do is, like I can probably bring the catch light back in by going like that. That'll probably do it. Let's see if that does it or not. That's A. Okay, let's try that. She's got dark eyes. Did we give it a catch light? No. Your eyes just absorb light. She has a light absorbing eye.
Well, I also think that the angle of this,
Yeah, it's the
not
angle.
gonna
You can,
hit her.
yeah, exactly.
She has to look up to it.
Yeah, because the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflectance. But I was hoping because it was flat. Yeah, put your chin up a smidge. Put your chin up like you're a snob.
Hard time making a specular highlight.
Yeah, because remember right, exactly. Specular highlight, blah, blah, blah.
That's the perfect headshot.
There we go, that's it. Now, wow, your eyes just absorb light. She is basically not of this world.
No, it's too soft.
Yeah, it's too soft. It's the softest light ever. If you love catch lights, the big soft light's not for you. I think this is pretty good here. I think the overall exposure of it is a little bit dark. So if I want to adjust that, because remember I'm in TTL. So everything that I do, it's like, hey Daniel, this is the exposure. Then I'm like, give me a little more, give me a little less. It's adjusting it within that range. If I think the whole thing's too dark, I could just bring the whole thing. I could do a global adjustment on my camera. Maybe I'll do that. That should work, I think. I've actually never done this with this camera. Let's see. This should work. Yep. That's called a global adjustment. I did it a full stop because people like light pictures. See? Boom. She was like, did you like that? You made it sound like you liked it. What's that?
It's bright.
That's what they call a global adjustment. So let me just explain that briefly. So what happened is your remote is making the adjustment, your compensation adjustment, based on its ratio to the various lights. The camera, when you're using the internal exposure compensation on the camera, is making the adjustment to the overall exposure. So I turned the whole thing up a stop, but they kept their ratios. I think it's too much though, so I'm going to actually take my internal global adjustment. I'm going to bring it down to just 0.7. Let's try that. And now that I've done that, I think I want more fill, so I'm going to go back to my fill light. I'm going to turn it up a smidge. Good. Yeah, there we go. And then if you really want to, you can lock it down by throwing it in manual. And that should give us a nice clean, yeah, there we go.
Lock it down.
So there we go. Boom. Versus boom. Nice and filled in, right? almost too much. I think I like the shape of her. Do you like the shadowy part? What do you like? She likes a little shadow.
I like the first light, the one light.
The super flat.
Very soft.
Yeah, she likes that. She
For
likes.
an actor, that's good at job.
Yeah, actors like that. Yeah. There you go. There you go. What did I say? Actors, right? Yeah, actors like that. But if you're like but she's, you know, you're a powerful corporate entity now, though. So we need some shadow. All right. So let's see.
I like shadows.
Yeah. So we're gonna take the B light, which is my fill light, and I'm gonna actually turn it down. Let's stop. Let's see what we get here. Let's work this would be like. There we go. Ooh.
See, look at that. Look at that jawline.
Yeah, look at that. She's like jawline.
The shadow.
No extra charge for that. No extra charge for that. Right, so there we go, right? Clean. And that's the advantage of the two lights, right? The two lights allow you to adjust and manipulate the light, the shape on the person. Now, just to make things the same, can we turn that light back on in the back?
Yes.
She's so good.
I work here.
Yeah. I'll put everybody to work. All right, here we go. Focusing on her eyeballs. That's so freaky. Good. And then we've got our little burst light in the background to match everything we've been doing so far. Okay, she's like, corporate. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Let's shoot a couple. Is it sharp? Yeah.
They're obsessed with the catch lights.
Oh.
So I'm just trying to.
The catch light is basically the softbox. This is not going to really make a catch light because it's so big relative to the entire exposure. It's not that bright. Like in order to get a catch light, this has to be very, very bright in your eyes. It has to really dominate.
It has to be a reflection.
Yeah, it has to reflect, and it's so big, it's just not really reflecting. You remember that any specular highlight is a reflection of your source. So see, here's the thing that's probably hard to really get, maybe because you're not seeing every angle here, is that when I'm using this giant silk, it's not just this is like a giant white thing right here. It's not just that this is the source, right? Because it's a silk, everything is bouncing around and past it, right? There's some light going past it, hitting this, flying back over here. It's hitting the white floor. Basically, you get this super, super soft light. You're not getting that punchy specular highlight like you are in the softbox. So if you love your, now one thing you might be able to do is you might be able to bring up a reflection in her eye, like say if you were doing the single light shot by using a silver reflector. Maybe you get that to reflect, maybe.
This is actually a good thing to do for glasses because you won't get that specular highlight.
That's right. It's also good for glasses. Or people with, losing their hair and they're shiny on the top. All right. That's two lights. All right, good. Man, we're at two lights and we're only half an hour in. I told Seth I'd be fast today.
I would have had this done at 15.
Yeah, I know.
No.
That's true. He would have. All right, so let's do three lights.
Oh, no.
So there's a lot of different ways to do. I know the background. I am cheating with the background. So I know. I just want. Actually, we didn't need the background light. I was actually just thinking it would make it consistent, but
Without the background light.
me too, actually.
You would.
Fine. You know what? You know what? Fine. We're not using three lights. Let's take this thing out of here. We're starting over. Yeah. Yeah, Seth, bully.
Not cheating.
All right, here we go. Make a good face. Boom. There we go. Right? Oh, you weren't said. That was my excellent framing.
Explain how this is on a stand.
Okay, so this is on the C-stand because I am bleeding all over the place. This is on a C-stand. It's usually Seth. I am, right? I'm like,
Yes,
basically
Usually what?
it's usually just bleeding everywhere. Now now when I tell a story, I'm gonna be like, I got blood all over my silk. Okay, so basically the Shimera frame is designed to be 5/8 inches in diameter, or baby, if you watched my video about sizes. And because of that, the rod is. So basically, you can put it directly through a C-stand knuckle. And that's actually one of the advantages of this system and why it's kind of cool, because you don't need any special stuff to hold it. You put it right in the knuckle. I mean, I don't consider a C-stand special, so I don't think it's a special thing. But yeah, that's pretty cool. All right.
There's a good video on C-stands.
There's an amazing video on C-stands that Seth made. He explains how I'm always using them wrong. All right, come forward a smidge. Good. All right, here we go. Be a bad, yeah, mamma jammy. There we go. Work it, be like, yeah, working it, yeah. She's like, whop, whop. And there we go. Lens. My lens is 24-70. I'm currently at the 70 millimeter mark. Okay, so now that we've proved that we can do it with, I'm making a big circle again, with three lights. 2 lights rather. Let's add a 3rd light. Now we all know that the more lights you use, the more you get paid. So here I am. I'm charging maybe, medium fee for a headshot, and I'm like, I want to make more money. How can I make more money? I'm going to add more lights. Seth does not believe in that philosophy.
Make it a longer session.
I'm going to make this.
By the hour.
I charge by the hour. All right, so I'm going to use the 3rd light. And there's lots of different things you can do with this 3rd light. I'm going to use it as a hair/separation light. Because I feel like having that separation light adds the 3-dimensionality to your image that really makes it stand out a lot of times. So I am going to, this is a pro photo. I guess I could use that light that I just took out if I want to, but I'll use this one because I feel like it. Let's see if we can do this without tripping over it. Yeah, there's plenty of cord here. Look at all the cord I have. Yeah, all right, so this is a pro photo B2, by the way, guys. I just put the 2nd head in there. These were like super cheap, but I think they sold them all. So if you didn't get in on it back in the day, Seth bought like 7 of them.
I bought 2.
He bought 2. They were so cheap.
It was ridiculous.
I should have bought another one. These are really great. All right, this is a strip box, 1 foot by 3 foot. I like these for hair/separation lights because being that they're a little more narrow, they're a little easier to kind of control the where they fall.
They're asking, do you ever make the subject squinch?
Do I never ever make them squinch? No. Never see them sweat, whatever that.
Some people really do that, though.
They need squint.
Yeah, like they try to give you more of a serious look.
You can, but like my eyes are very small.
Yeah, it wouldn't work well for her. See,
But you don't want to brood in a headshot unless it's like a specific
it depends on the
modeling-
subject.
modeling, maybe?
I would say this: I don't make people do anything. People do what they do, and I capture it.
Well, it's beautiful with it.
That's right. Yeah, see that? Thank you. I'm a poet. I didn't even know it. All right.
You got good freckles, don't you? Good freckles.
What's that?
I have freckles.
She has great freckles.
Fan of the freckles. I want to shoot in black and white.
Yeah,
This
well,
summer they'll come out.
I have a great black and white preset that you can buy.
You won't do the.
If you want to buy my black and white preset that's Seth.
I'm gonna have to
Wow.
I got to do a black and white green just for freckles.
You should do one for Allison because she has the best freckles. All right.
Actually, we'll do a white backdrop,
Yeah.
black grayscale one day.
Yeah, you should do it. See,
Yeah.
come in and get shot by Seth.
One of these days.
One Saturday, you guys will be sitting there and you'll get a notification if you follow Last Ex Witness on
If I ever go live.
YouTube.
And here we are.
All right, so I'm going to set up a little hair light action. I put this the modeling on so you guys can see. I'm going to point it, look over here. You don't want to do that.
Hold on a second.
Can we see it in any of the cameras?
Yeah, oh, ahead.
Okay, so I'm aiming it. How is this, Dave? Pretty good?
They
Not
can't
bad?
see her, though. Can you step it in at all?
You know what I can do? I can just move this. Yeah, I'll take this out for a second. Okay. Okay.
Pretty good. Ain't gonna lie.
All right, so you want to aim it so that it comes by and kind of, because remember, a lot of times people set up a hair light and they're standing behind the person and they aim it at the back of their head. But the thing is, you're not shooting the back of their head. What you want to do is light the hair that we can see and give some separation. So that's a pretty good spot to start with. Just kind of aim it so it feathers. I used to have feathered hair back in the 80s.
They're asking how come the background didn't get dark when she moved closer to you. I think it's because the fill was washing anyway.
Well, yeah, the reason why the background didn't get dark when she got closer to me in these last ones is because I wasn't in TTL anymore. So the exposure wasn't being changed by the TTL. But also the light was going past. But yeah, it may have done that. If she got really close to the softbox and I was in TTL, it may have changed the exposure. That's why once I nail the exposure and then I let the person kind of react and be free, I switch it to manual, always. Because if they start moving, it changes the exposure, which is both the best and worst thing about TTL. All right, so I'm going to turn off this light here for a second since there's no silk there. Should I put it in TTL? TTL can sometimes be tricked by a backlight. Should we risk it? No. Let's do it.
You already did that. You get tricked there.
Yeah, but this is a different kind of backlight. Yeah, we're doing it. We're just doing it. I'm gonna turn off the internal exposure compensation though.
Do you have the softbox out? Yeah.
I'm only gonna shoot the 2 softboxes, but not this.
One of their heads is off.
Yeah, the soft boxes. Okay.
And
Yeah, did the same thing.
the overhead was on.
This is on or off?
On.
Do I have the wrong channels turned off? Yeah, that's A, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You've got A on, and you're only using one of the soft.
Yes. This is because even though Dave told me I was doing it wrong, I did not listen to him. Because again, I usually use the A as my key light, so I immediately thought, yep.
So they're asking if you could do an on-set where you have budget-oriented setups, and you do, so.
Yeah, can I do an on-set with a budget oriented? Yeah, I can. There's actually a couple of them. If you look back through the history, they're usually called something like inexpensive gear, professional results. I've done $100 kits. Those are all like using very budget gear. Listen, I'm not going to use a $600 flash versus a $1,000 flash. That doesn't make any sense to me because that's not the budget. When I do a budget shoot, I do a budget shoot. Like I do super cheap gear. So yeah, no, not using the Godox light, if that's what you're asking me. I don't own them, so I can't do it. Okay, so we've got the basic position of the hair light in. We can see that it's lighting up the side of her face. We got our key light back in over here. One of the important things to make sure of with your hair light is it's not hitting her in the nose. But since she has such a petite nose, it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, it sounded like it was going somewhere else.
Yeah.
So there's a question, if you were to sweep the paper, how do you stop reflecting of the color back up into the model if they're standing on it? I mean,
Oh, okay.
It's
Well
also
done.
Patty who shoots puppies that are really on the
Right. Yeah. So, hey, Patty. Yeah, well, that's the problem, right? If you are shooting, if I'm shooting a person standing here and I roll this paper out, it would not make a difference. The light is so far away. If you're shooting something that's on the paper, you're going to get kickback from it. But what you want to try to do is light in such a way that the light is, like, in other words, if my paper is here, it's my bloody hand, you don't want to hit the paper with the light and have it reflect back on your subject. So you want to light, maybe favor the subject more so it doesn't hit it and sweep it from across the side. Because remember, light comes in angle, just like you're trying to get reflections out of glasses. The same thing with that. If I take a piece of, actually we were doing it here before when we were setting the room up. If we have the paper and I shoot light directly at it, it's going to bounce back and hit my subject. So I want to try to feather the light so that the feathered edge of it is going to hit the paper and not a direct smack. So yeah, but if something's right on the paper, that's actually kind of tricky to not get any color kickback, especially in digital cameras because they're so sensitive. They're so sensitive. Okay, so I'm actually going to adjust the exposure of the background light. I'm in TTL right now. I'm going to switch to manual because I don't want to, I had everything set up before, so I don't want to screw up that light. And I'm going to turn off this modeling light and see. And I'm going to put this back in now because you guys can see where it is, and we're going to make our exposure. And then, man, we're ringing in the money. Because if you can, I mean, really, you charge like maybe 35% more per light. You can't charge 100% more per light. That'd be too much.
I need like a red light that I can switch on the camera.
There is actually a little thing on the switchers, but not on the phone, so I wouldn't know when it's there.
There is a thing on that?
Yeah, I never turn them the right way, but if you the front of it has a dot on it.
Yeah, they all have the white dot though.
No, when you switch to a camera, like watch, switch to that one. Yeah, change color. I know.
You have no idea how long you're using this system?
Well, you know what's funny is because I always am filming myself, so I never set it up like that because I don't need to. All right, so we're just going to get an exposure. Welcome. Okay, all right, let's start messing with them. I'm so far away. The hair light's a bit bright for me. What do you think? Too bright, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take the hair light down to stop.
So it's looking like she has gray hair when you do that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say all the silver. Yeah, that makes sense.
She's a silver
How
fox.
far would you say she's from the background?
From the background, how tall? She is one body length away.
Not that short.
One Allison away. She's about 4 feet.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah,
she's not. No, I mean not 4 feet tall. She's about 4 feet from the back.
I think you're in a treehouse right now.
Oh god. Okay. So A is my fill light. I really should have set that the right way. All right. So I'm gonna add a little fill. Okay. Still a smidge hot. I'm gonna turn that C light down. That was down one stop. I'm gonna dial it down. Let's dial down 2 stops because that's how I like to roll. I always like to do 1 stop at a time. That way, it'll eventually be too much. Now that's too much down, I think. So let's bring it back up a third. Good. Bring it back a smidge more. Okay. All right. Look directly at me so I can see get a better effect for the hair so we can match up to the first one. That's still a smidge hot. Okay. So good. So now I'm just kind of finessing the light. There we go, that looks pretty good. So this is to taste, obviously, right? You want the light to come in and give her a little glow, but you don't want it to be, you have kind of straw-colored hair. Yeah. Straw,
It's okay.
straw, nutmeg,
You said it.
what's it?
Oh,
Eggnog.
Justin, keep going, Jesus.
All right. Okay, so now I'm balanced the way I like it. I'm balanced. It's always good to have balance in life. If only we had a fourth light to light the background. But since we're not allowed to use it, because that's it, maybe I'll do it as a bonus.
3.5.
Listen, he's the one lying to people.
All right, so here we go. This is the thumbnail, so make sure we get it going. Whenever you tell somebody it's a thumbnail, they get very excited, so that's how you get the best shot. Always tell people that. They'll be like, what? But like, this is the thumbnail. Here it is. You guys all watch Netflix. You know what the thumbnail looks like. It's like, boom, this is the... You know what I hate is that Netflix, I don't know if you guys have Netflix, but they change the thumbnails. Have you noticed this? So you'll be watching a show, and then you'll be like looking for it again. You're like, where is this show? They make you use the part of your brain that has to read stuff instead of looking at the visual.
Hey, you want to go bounce off the floor?
We could bounce off the floor. I've already done 3 lights, and we're so fast. I'm too fast today. Let's do something else.
Wow, you are on.
I'm a big fan of bouncing off this floor now.
Yeah, Seth likes to bounce off the floor, so we're going to do it. What do you mean, for a fill instead of this?
Yeah. No, instead of the,
You mean in addition to that?
actually, you can do it now, right now. You can do it right now.
I can just turn the light to the ground, right?
Yeah. I usually do an on-camera speed light with the bounce.
Well, I don't have any speed lights with me.
We can do that.
They're at my house. Well, I could just do this one, no?
You can do that one.
You want to do that in addition?
It's your world. I'm just living in
This is my Savage C-stand.
It's a weird C-stand.
It's got some cool features that I'm working on and figuring out. All right, so what I like about it, though, notice this. You see this? Oh, I'm off the thing. This is a cool feature, so I want to point it out. Sales pitch. I'll use the other one. No, I figured this out today, and it's actually pretty cool. So I will convince Seth right now, because Seth doesn't like any kind of change.
Oh, wow.
Right? Right? Cool.
No.
Because normally that, right?
Yeah.
But if I want to put a light on it, I just, boom, drop it down, drop it down, drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot.
You really think you just discovered that?
Yep, I did. I just discovered it. You're blown away.
They're asking in a one-light setup could use a reflector of the hair.
In a one light setup, could I use a reflector as a hair light?
I did it with you, actually.
I mean, yes and no. Yes, in the sense that you could bounce light back, but it's never going to be brighter than the key light, right? Which means that it's not going to give the pop. Although you could let some light cruise past the silk, so you could do it. Should we do that? What do you guys, do you want that or do you want the bounce off the floor? We can do both, I guess. All right, let's just use another light to bounce it off the floor. You just want to bounce it right here, right behind me?
You know how to fill the face? Come on.
I don't know how to do it.
Dustin off Daniel. Listen to this.
I'm not sure how to do it. You want me to McNally that thing?
That was the greatest moment in the studio, hands down.
Okay. All right. So we're bringing in a fourth light.
You got an arm light?
Do I have an arm?
Yeah, I don't
No.
want to. I think it's better when you lateral it.
Yeah. All right. Whew. He's going to lateral it. Lateral. No, he's doing it.
You don't have to.
No, we're doing it. We're doing 4 lights. Actually, I did headshots 1, 2, 3. Seth's going to do 4, 5, 6.
Surprise.
I'm not shooting today. I just carried a bunch of furniture.
He's just here.
You need help?
Oh, I always need help.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring this light in. We're going to bounce it off the floor. That'll probably cause a catch light, maybe. I don't know. You have like dead eyes.
But the cool thing about this
Because I
is
absorb
the
everything.
distance from the floor will dictate how soft it is.
That's right.
So that's what's fun about it. You kind of focus it, so you can actually see where it's going to hit.
So what Seth's saying, the distance to the floor determines how soft it is. What he means by that is that when you bring the light up, you're actually making your light source larger, right? Because if I'm shooting right here, you can see where the light spread is on the floor. If I bring the light up,
Oh, wait, let me give you an overhead. Actually, you can't see it.
I'll do it right here so you can see. So you can see where the light is on the floor. If I bring the light up, it actually covers, it's dimmer of course, but it covers more floor, which means it's softer. So you can control the softness of your fill. All right. Plus, subjects love it when you just point a light at the floor. They're always like,
What are you doing?
and then like, you're gonna charge me for that light? And I'll be like, that's right. And more lights I use, the more I gotta charge you.
McNally used no less than 42 lights of that laundry. Oh, he's there.
Yeah, yeah, Joe is amazing.
Joe's the best.
All right.
Hope he's all right. I think he's heading to Japan right now.
Yeah, he's on the road. Okay, what do you want to set this at? 5? I'm gonna set it at 5. I'm doing it Seth style.
No, well, you're not.
Okay,
You'll
what?
be overpowering.
Okay, no, I mean, I'm doing it your style where you just pick a number.
No,
But,
I don't just pick a number. Now you're just flooding lines.
well, I mean, a good number.
That's a 5,
Yeah,
7. So then you're eating up a stop, right?
Yeah, but this is really my key. My key is at 7-3 in a softbox.
Oh, okay.
So,
3 through a softbox.
4?
You're really at like 6. You're at like 5.
so 4. So I'm down and stop. 3.5. All right, 3.5.
I don't just pick numbers.
I mean, he doesn't just pick it. He does the calculation of the.
Let's start that.
Well, I mean,
Beautiful.
perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that's your fill.
That's the fill light.
So now you can up it or whatever. So you're dictating your shadows.
Here we go. That's dictating my shadows. Ooh. The fill light is when it looks like it does nothing. All right. I'm gonna bring this up a bit so you guys can see what it'll do if we bring it up. Let's bring it up a stop, because, not a whole heck of a lot. I should probably look at it closer, because we're probably gonna, because I already have another fill. I should probably turn off the A light.
You locked in manual, right?
Yep. I'm turning off my other fill so you can see the difference. All right. That's turning off the A light. Wow, okay. I'm cranking this bad boy. Let's go. You know what this goes to? 11. Whenever you think the light's not doing anything, that's what you should do. All right. So,
That's a big horror shot.
look, and guess what? She still doesn't have a catch light. She is not from this plane of existence. She has black eyes.
Oh, right there. Look. That's the floor.
Oh yeah, there it is. Okay.
Guys,
All right.
I would zoom in on
All right. So that's
makeup.
so that's a little bright.
Don't do your makeup headshot.
So 10 is a little bit bright. That's pretty good makeup.
No.
That's not,
Thank you.
that's not terrible. It's not the worst makeup.
Wait, do I have?
I mean, I've seen
are my
makeup
eyes
artists.
okay? Like, do we
You
see
have
eyes?
perfect eyes.
Thank you.
I have actually seen makeup artists do worse makeup than that,
Thank you. I'm better at that.
unfortunately. All right, here we go. All right, well, I'm back down to 7. It was probably still going to be a lot, but actually, 7's not terrible. Let's look at it. How's that for Phil? Decent. Okay, and let's turn the A light back on too, so we can get paid for all of them.
It gives it kind of a natural feel because
Yeah.
it reflects off the floor if you're shooting behind a window.
That is true. And when you're shooting, especially an environmental portrait, this is a great technique because it feels very natural to have light bouncing off the floor because that's normally what light does.
You could even put a CTO on the floor and give it that wood feel.
Yeah, could do that.
Huh?
We could do that.
I'm just crazy.
We could do all kinds
Crazy,
of,
Dave.
or we could literally put something warm down there, like.
Oh, you want to put a gold reflector down? Oh boy.
Do you mind if I put your thing on the floor?
I don't know if that's warm enough. Right?
Is it going to get dirty? No, this is a perfectly clean floor.
Sure, as long as there's no virus.
No, it's super clean. All right, here we go, guys. All right, now, because that fabric absorbs light, I'm going to dial it up a little bit. This is going to do nothing. But, no, it's going to be awesome. You ready? Advanced technique there. Look at that. Wow, actually, that didn't absorb nearly as much light as I thought it would. That's a very nice fabric.
This is very nice.
Ah, look at that. Good idea, Seth. Look at how warm and luscious that is.
That's not warm.
That is warm and luscious.
That's not horrible.
That's warm?
No. It's not.
That is, yeah.
It's not warm.
Okay.
We got to put a CTO on there, but I'm not doing any gels. I decided not to do any gels today.
You could put a gold reflector there, though.
Gold reflector. This is what's nice about being in the studio. Hold on, ready?
Voila.
Is it gold? No, it's silver.
Is that the silver and the matte silver one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the cool one.
Yeah, this is the old PhotoFlex one.
Matte silver is
It is
awesome.
gold.
Yeah. This is the one I sit on when I go to the park, which is like terrible because you can't get this anymore. Yeah, this is a super gold reflector.
Cool.
Now, I normally don't use gold reflectors, but, in this situation, we're going to allow it. By the way, guys, if you didn't have this frame, you could suspend this part of the silk here, if you have one of these 5-in-1 reflectors, and then you could use the gold part at the bottom still. Is it exactly the same? No, but will it work in a pinch? Yes. All right, here we go.
Oh, wow. All right.
All right, I'm just gonna put it down here. What do you think? That'll probably work. It'd be better if the arm wasn't there and it was flat, but you know. All right. How's that? Better? That's warm.
Yeah, that's one.
That's warm.
Looks like a wood floor.
Look at that, the wood floor. It's like an environmental portrait.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna turn the A light down a smidge. Let's do one more. Work it. Good. There it is. Now you're like, I'm somewhere where the floor is warm. And the background is eggnog.
Wow.
But it does look more organic. Like,
It does look organic.
Yeah.
it looks organic like.
Yeah. Organic. And this one is only a 4-light setup. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better than the 16 D flats you used last week.
I did use a lot of V-flats in that video.
One guy
Yeah.
was like, this is ridiculous.
It was a lot of V-flats. Yeah, sometimes I use a lot of V-flats. What can I say? I'm not going to deny it. I like V-flats and I can't deny.
Wow.
Was it right? Okay.
Vanessa's in the house.
Hey, Vanessa.
Hi.
That's fine. Should we do one more thing? Oh, what was I going to do? I was going to do something before Seth distracted me. I forgot the awesome thing I was going to do. It was like life-changing.
And then,
Life-changing I was going to do, and then he distracted me. What was I going to do?
I don't know.
What was I going to do, guys?
You suggested it. It was bouncing and something else. I forgot.
Maybe I was going to light the background.
There you go.
I don't really want to light the background now. I like it. I like the way it looks. I'm pretty happy with this. Are you happy?
I think it's a clean shot. Yeah.
It's a clean shot. Let's shoot a couple so that Allison has a shot that she can use for her LinkedIn profile.
For LinkedIn.
For
Find me
LinkedIn.
on there.
For LinkedIn. Find
On
find her on
I
LinkedIn.
say actually like, no.
Don't find me on LinkedIn. That is for my day job.
Find me on
only.
LinkedIn. All right, here we go. Cool, cool, cool. Here we go. Oh, by the way, guys, see how much space I'm leaving above her head? Look at that.
Okay.
Good. That's it. Powerful. But we're okay with that.
No, no, no.
Oh, we can see you. We can see you. What's that? Should we just cut?
I don't want to cut.
I mean, do you think? No. I mean, do you think they'll hear me if I cut out? Because I think we're done. I mean, we actually got this pretty quickly. We're just okay, we're up.
You should be up.
All right, hey guys. Sorry, the YouTube is acting all goofy. We got this. If you guys have more questions about this, I would field more questions, but it looks like we're going to lose the stream. Go ahead and put them in the comments, and I will come back and answer them as quickly as I can. If you don't already, follow me, Daniel Norton Photographer. You can see all the stuff I'm up to. Follow Allison at Allison,
Allie Blackman. A-L-L-I. Black man.
which you know.
That is my last name.
That's her-
That's Instagram.
And there you go. That's her Instagram. And of course, Seth is at Last Ex Witness, Debaruska. And we'll see you next. Oh, probably next week.
Oh,
but
you know what? They were
what's?
stuck on the laptop.
Oh, so you didn't see me? Oh, that's fine. Nobody cares. I'd rather look at her anyways. Okay, guys. So hopefully, if there's any other questions, anything, like I said, put them in the comments. I will follow up and look. We're probably going to be live next Thursday as well. But keep in touch on Facebook. That's usually or Instagram with me, Daniel Norton. And I'll see you next time.
Ciao.
Oh, I like the chow thing. That was pretty.